Alright guys, this is module 6, talking about plastic pipe and fittings. If you've been in my intro class, y'all know you've already dealt with some plastic pipe and fittings. I'm going to walk you through here and give you some focused instruction. But first, let me open up with the objectives. Upon completion of this module, you will be able to do the following: identify the various types of plastic pipe, identify the material properties, storage, handling requirements of plastic pipe, identify the types of fittings and valves used with plastic pipe, identify the techniques used in hanging and supporting plastic pipe, properly measure, cut, and join plastic pipe, identify the hazards and safety precautions associated with plastic pipe. The performance task here, you should be able to select the correct types of materials for plastic pipe systems, identify types of fittings and valves and their uses, select the appropriate personal protective equipment for working with plastic piping, and properly measure, cut, and join plastic pipe, and select the correct support and spacing for the application. Alright, we'll start out with this introduction. Plastic has revolutionized plumbing, a trade that was based for hundreds of years on metal pipe and fittings. Not widely used by the plumbing industry until 1950s, plastic is the newest plumbing material and has changed the way plumbers work. Alright, the first note I see is plastic pipes and fittings are chemically inert, meaning they do not react to other substances or materials. Write that down. Another note here, you may see plastic pipe, PVC, ABS, whatever, out on a yard and it's uncovered. Well, in short term, sun exposure does not harm the piping, but just note that long-term exposure degrades the plastic material. It's kind of sensitive to the UV rays, so just note that. Next, we're talking about sizing, the SDR number. I'll show you on the next image. The larger the SDR number, the thinner the wall. Write that down. The SDR number size ratio is right here. Just note that the larger the number, the thinner the wall. There may be a couple of notes on this statement right here under 2.6.2 PVC. Like ABS, this is ABS up here. Like ABS, PVC is used in DWV systems. So both ABS and PVC are typically used in DWV systems. PEX, cross-linked polyethylene. Alright, plumbers commonly use PEX for manifold plumbing distribution systems because of its flexibility. If you've been in my intro classes, I know we've worked with PEX a little, so you know how it is flexible and can bend around corners and such. Well, it makes it easier to work with when you have a lot of piping, such as a manifold system. Here is that manifold system, and as you can see, they've used PEX. Just remember, because of its flexibility, it's easy to work with here. Next is material and storage handling. To maximize productivity, that's right, in material storage and handling, to maximize productivity, you should organize pipes and fittings into groups by pipe size and type. This way, when you go and retrieve this material, you already know exactly where to go and what to pick up. Maybe a couple of questions here on this statement as well. Water supply fittings, pressure type fittings, water supply, used for water supply are short turn or short radius with ledges or shelves. Just note that. This is dealing with cutting PVC pipe. I know we've done this some on cutting copper. It should be done as well on PVC. Kind of deburring, we've done that. Sometimes if you're cutting with a saw, you'll deburr with your gloved hand or whatever, just get the burrs out. Well, the tools used to ream pipe ends include reaming blade and the tubing on the tubing cutter, files, pocket knives, and deburring tools. So if it's not on that list right there, it's not a tool that should be used to ream. Alright, so just note that. Joining pipe, you guys know we've primed and glued PVC, we've crimped PEX, we've soldered copper pipe. Just note that plumbers can also connect some dissimilar plastic pipe with transition fittings. Alright, installing bell and spigot pipe. It goes through the steps here. You can go ahead and read that. Right here in step 4, it says apply the lubricant in the entire surface of the spigot end, which is the male, up to the memory mark. Alright, so you made a mark right here. once you inserted it, you're creating a memory mark to show the proper position for alignment. This is important right here because the final step says the memory mark must never be more than 3/8 inch from the end of the bell after assembly. Just note that. This next note is talking about joining PEX tubing. I think there's a typo here, but do is write down what I say here. Slide a PEX ring over the end of the tube and extend it no more than 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch. Write that down. I'll show you a bell and spigot pipe. This guy's preparing his lube. He's going inside the bell with his lube. He'll go around the exterior of the spigot with his lube. You can see he's shaved this side down so it can slide in. There's a gasket right there, and it can be broken, ripped, pulled out of its base if you don't have a smooth spigot. And there's his memory mark, so he's going to insert this all the way to his memory mark, okay? This goes on and talks a little bit more about joining PEX. The note here, before the final expansion, withdraw the tubing from the tool and rotate the tool 1/8 of a turn. This prevents the tool from forming ridges in the tubing. Alright, you should note that, okay? Hangers and supports, we're talking about horizontal hangers here. You can attach those to wooden structures with lag screws. Go ahead and write that down. And then when working with pipe in the ground, lay it on a firm bed for its entire length. Alright, we're talking about fasteners here. This is a note. Mid-story guides can provide greater stability for vertical pipe. Just note that, okay? And pressure testing. When we're performing a hydrostatic pressure test, this is air. You should bleed the air from the highest and farthest points in the run, okay? That would help you get all the air out of the system. So the highest and the furthest from where you're putting in the air would be the good place to bleed the air. Hey, and how about this? That'll do it for Module 6. That's plastic pipe and fittings. I hope you got all your notes, created your own study guide, and thank you so much. Later.